So I was reading the comments to the Jung thing, and it's an interesting range. You know, on the one end, there's "you're a fucking asshole, you think Jung is a Nazi, you're an idiot." And then, well, you know, I mean, I'm just saying blah blah blah. Oh, you want to make it wrong, you moron. I don't care if I'm making you feel bad. I'm like, well, you're not making me feel bad, but all the way to people going, I don't think you're being fair to Jung. But look, where did I write Jung is a Nazi? I thought about this because I knew I was shooting from the hip and various things. So I definitely put it in the way where people could take the implication and react or defend. Fine, but put question marks. Jung a Nazi? Question mark. Okay. So I asked the question. Okay. I asked the question, is he a Nazi? Now, you could say that asking that question implies he might be a Nazi, but see, if you answer it such that, no, he's not a Nazi, well, then that's it. He's not a Nazi, right? So you could say there's people, though, that it's inappropriate to even suggest they might be one, like Obama, you know, or like if Jung. No, he was Chinese. He was in Hong Kong at the time. Okay, but you can't use the above being questioned about his Nazism for a guy that hung out with Nazis and ran an organization that endorsed Mein Kampf and wrote these things about Jewish psychology, though I admit some people have given me some interpretations of those that forget that a little bit. You could read it right in there. He was weak for Nazism for 6 years at least. He could have resigned. It was the first, like, it's 1 year he's in that office, they did the Mein Kampf thing, and he just stays on there. You can't be above being called a Nazi, and that's the other thing with the Obama thing. People are like, oh, the people use Nazi too much. We got to stop using that word so much. We're talking about if somebody's an actual Nazi. Okay, and then the other category that's funny or interesting is, you know, like To Be Serious was just going, well, he is not a Nazi. I mean, he might have had some weird ideas. I don't agree with everything. I'm not saying this because I support it. And I had to go, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm accusing you of only doing it because you support it. But he is not a Nazi. Well, the technical issue of if he was a Nazi was, did he ever join the Nazi Party? I don't know if that's known. I saw people speculating for and against it. But I do know, and like I said, I just read Einstein's biography, which goes before and through that whole period and how the physical sciences reacted, various people, and the ways that they went, and the way they used their Nazi chance to malign other scientists that they just disagreed with. You know, it revealed a lot of character. Now, the people that showed good character deserve extra credit, so I'm not just giving out that credit to Jung. Oh, you're such a genius, I'll pretend you had good character when the shit hit the fan too. Did it? Didn't look like he did, really. Now, he turned around, he disavowed it, he helped us figure out how Nazis think, and he understood. Great, people can turn around, convicts can become reformed. Great, doesn't mean, you know, he's not above being asked if he was a Nazi when he was in a position where in that time in Germany you had to avow to the Nazi Party. I can't imagine they let him be in that position without him being in the Nazi Party. That's why the organization had to endorse Mein Kampf and all the rest. And that's why you could say later, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. Yeah, because you had to do those kinds of things. Now Heidegger, we got him in the Nazi uniform in pictures, so we know what that deal is. Now, was Jung ever in a Nazi uniform? I don't know. The only technical thing about using this word Nazi is, was he in the Nazi Party? There is no technical question about Obama being in the Nazi Party. He wasn't even alive at the right time. You know, I guess he could be some sort of American Nazi group, if those really count. I don't know. Do the wannabe Nazis count? Maybe. So maybe you could have a Nazi now. It's just not very likely, and I'm not using it that way for other Nazis. I'm talking about actual Nazis. You know, and you cannot be above. The other thing, another To Be Serious thing, and I'm going to call you on again, To Be Serious. You cannot do this, oh, well, people didn't really know. They use that all the time in Germany, and it's a little bit dubious. what people knew. People are all different kinds of mentalities. Okay, that's hard to say. In academia, no. These are all intelligent people. Even if they weren't, involved or interested in politics, they're intelligent. People got the gist. They knew what Hitler was about as he was rising. And it's well documented that they did. And the reactions are also well documented. You can't say he didn't know and then, he left when the war started, when he figured out. No. I mean, he's supposed to be intelligent, insightful, super insightful. So yeah, I think I could expect him to see something so obvious coming that, a bunch of chemists could figure out and mathematicians, but if psychologists could have figured out this was going in a bad direction? No. That kind of apologia is a reaction. It's this faith in men. Who cares? Every one of his psychological ideas could be a great idea that you should use every day in a practice of therapy, and he could be a total jerk. And our instinct to defend the one and the other, that's the associational logic, it's the bookism, it's the way, and the kind of authoritarianism and elitism sneaks in, because we're supposed to forgive these guys. There's other guys that didn't, make a tremendous contribution to psychology. And so they're not going to get off the hook. When they wrote, well, the Jewish people are a problem, that's just that. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, the idea is he can live on with the legacy of ideas that historians can remember where they came from and everything. But I guarantee you're going to have to clean out rotten parts. Okay, and that's just an empirical result. These Nazi intellectuals, there's always big ass, sneaky ass, the kind of crazy, stupid that only a crazy, smart kind of person could do, just to fucking just twist the one thing and get it just so exactly wrong on purpose. Rotten parts, they're always in there. There might be a lot left over. And maybe in Jung's case it's mostly fine. It was just a few little bruises. Whatever. He's not above question of if he was a Nazi. When you look at 33 to 39, I guess. So, there were question marks. Are you really saying, are you really saying I wasn't fair to Jung asking if he might be a Nazi, have been a Nazi? It's not fair to ask that of somebody that was hanging around with Nazis, endorsed Mein Kampf through his directorship. So that doesn't raise a question? No. It does raise a question. The fact is, it does look like, he was plenty Nazi for 6 years. He showed he ought to know better by the fact that he did figure out better. And that's all good. Good for him. I'm not saying he didn't become a lovely person. He could have even been lovely during the time. But he also had this Nazi side. That's what it looks like. And the whole thing of it's being unfair. No, because I haven't said it discredits his ideas. I've said quite the opposite. So you guys are saying I'm being unfair. No, unfair would be to say that his whole archetype and dream thing is just a Nazi thing. I haven't said that. I said, was this guy a Nazi? Think about that.